Critical Blast, where pop culture gets blasted.
And good evening, everybody. I am RJ Carter, Senior Managing Editor here at criticalblast.com. And tonight we are going a little bit early tonight, but that's okay. We're not FCC regulated. We can jump around as we want to, and we just trust that you're going to find us because you are subscribed, aren't you? You have hit the little button over here that says, let me know when Critical Blast is going to broadcast, haven't you? If you haven't, now's the time. It's as simple as clicking on a little bell, and then you want to click that thing to the side that says always. Because otherwise YouTube decides which ones of our broadcasts you want to see, and you don't want to let YouTube decide anything for you. You want to make those decisions yourself. Tonight we are very pleased to have with us Mr. Jason Bascom, who is going to talk about his crowdfunded comic book, Absolute. Now this is book number 2. Welcome.
This is book number 2. Yeah.
Are you giving me a hand?
I'm giving you a hand. It's my strong hand. Yeah, I'm giving you a hand. Yeah.
Very cool, man. I got to get some more props too. I've got stuff in my Amazon cart that I'm like, do I dare get that stuff and start using it on show?
You know what? I mean, I worked at Michael's and somebody had, like, I guess, stolen the body parts out of the vial for Halloween or whatever. So we were supposed to throw these away. So I was like, I'm keeping them. So this has kind of been my shtick to, like, wave hello or goodbye with my tiny hand there.
Why would you throw away good body parts?
I don't know. Somebody could. There was like 2 feet with it, 2 hands. I mean, you could use a spare.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, you look at that, and you see what's missing, and then you come up with scenarios as to why a person would want just that part.
Yeah, exactly. Sometimes I'll like hide my sleeve and I'll use the tiny hand.
Oh yeah, you just have like little baby hands. Just
little baby
sew your
hands.
sleeve shut.
I have the other one. Unfortunately, they're both the same hand. Like there's not one thumb on the other side, so I don't know why they did that, but
that sucks.
Yeah, it is what it is. So what's up, man? How's it going?
Going all right, man. It's just going through my Wednesday was DCBD, so that's a dollar comic book day. I hit the dollar bins. Because God knows where we're going to find new comic books anymore.
You'll find them in the dollar bins.
You just wait a month. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
But it's funny. We were supposed to have the LCS guys show tomorrow, and then we've had not cancellations but conflicts because hey, conventions are happening again now.
Are they?
Yeah, well, some of them are. And one of our guys is running a convention on Sunday, so he's got to set up on Saturday. And he wants to talk. So I said, why don't we just push it back a week? So folks, if you're watching and you usually tune into the LCS guys show on every other Saturday, we're pushing that one back a week, and then we'll readjust the schedule to get things back on track. But yeah, the retailers want to talk about this Marvel deal with Penguin. They want to talk about Zack Snyder's Justice League.
Yeah.
A ton of stuff that they want to go through.
Yeah, I heard about the Penguin thing, and I haven't seen Justice League yet. So, I mean, I saw the regular one, but...
Yeah. Well, from what I understand, the new one is a whole other movie.
Yeah, this is what people have been giving it some good reviews. So, I have to check it out, but I don't know if I have 4 hours to kill. So,
4 hours is a long time.
Like I recently bought off of Amazon the special editions of Aliens and Alien 3, and I had to like do those in like 4 different days, and those were like 2.5 hours. So, I'm so busy, I don't have time to watch a full 2.5 hour movie. So,
I recently acquired the physical, and it came with the digital versions of the extended versions of Lord of the Rings and The Hobbit.
Oh, jeez. There's got to be like 6 weeks worth of
I know
material.
Thank God they haven't made a movie of the Silmarillion, because that would just be...
Man. That's ridiculous.
That would be a 12-movie epic, I'm sure.
Yeah, forget that.
So how long you been making comics, man?
This is my second one.
All right.
Technically, I mean, I did draw a book for a few people, like off and on, that never went anywhere. One of them did go on Comixology, but it was years ago. It's called Cannibal Detective. If anybody wants to go look at it, fine. Give that guy a little bit of cash. It's $1. I don't want to. That's not my best work, but support indie people. But yeah. So, but yeah, this is like my second one that I've done. I've never really written anything before, but I've been drawing comics, comic characters, you name it, for like 20, 30 years. Ever since I was a kid. It's what I've loved.
Here.
Yeah, now crowdfunding's here. Like the way this initially went was I started drawing this book. I drew page one. My brother is a writer, and he was like, yeah, I really don't know fully what to do with this because I just drew the page. And I was like, hey, here you go. I didn't give him a concept or anything. And he's like, I don't know where to take it. So I just started drawing the pages and just as I go, I would write it in my head.
Yeah.
And it developed that way. So I initially was going to have it be like issues. I was going to pitch it to Image or Dark Horse, and try to go that route. And then look what happened. So I was like, all right. And I was listening to Dan Frega during when he first started streaming on YouTube, and the thing started rolling from there. So yeah, and I'm pretty much like a Fregaite, or a dude, so they say. So I followed his whole thing, and I follow his model. It's all about heart. It's all about the fans. So
It's all about the AAT.
it's all about the AAT, man. That's what it's all about.
Yeah, I mean, there are so many good comic book creators here that we were not seeing through the mainstream model.
Mhm.
And I don't, some of you wants to say, well, it's because they were already publishing so many books, they didn't have room, they can't hire everybody. But I've seen what they publish now, and I've seen who they're hiring now, and I'm like, no, that's not it at all.
Right. Like I even had this discussion with I don't know if it was Will Perdomo or like Luke from Death Metal Hero, but I was talking to them and I was like, I don't know because I haven't bought any of the indie stuff like Dark Horse or Image in so long. I don't know how they are now. Like I knew how they were back then, and they were actually pretty cool. Like I'm talking back then, like 10 years ago. But they're like, yeah, those are trash too. So I'm like, well, that's disheartening.
Yeah, the ones that became mainstream. But I'm fortunate that my LCS guy, Cosmic Comics, Belleville, Illinois, on Main Street, guys. He's huge into indie market. So whenever he comes in and he knows I'm buying books to review for the website, he'll like, hey, this is a new #1 from this indie publisher, and these guys just got started through a Kickstarter. So I'm seeing things like Mad Cave Studios. I can't even remember some of the studio names because they were like,
yeah, there's so many.
Yeah, there's a ton of them out there, and they're
Right.
good.
Well,
So
yeah, but that's the thing though. Like they're not Dark Horse, they're not Image, they're not
No.
like the traditional indie people. It's nowadays it's the indie people. It's the people that are just doing it themselves, saying screw you.
Yep.
I'm gonna do it this way because I have full control, full creative control, and I can produce something of quality that isn't garbage, so to speak. So
exactly, and I think a lot of people are doing that now too. I mean, I was on a stream with George Gatsis the other night, and we didn't talk. We talked about everything except his book. In fact, we got 10 minutes in, and he kind of private chatted me. It's like, let's do the whole thing and never talk about the book, please, because he thought it'd be funny.
You know what, though, honestly, man, I have a lot of fun just sitting here and just rapping and, just talking and building, having a conversation. Some of those are more relaxing than a lot. Like, dude, don't get me wrong. I want to pitch my book. I want to get the backers, have them read some cool stuff, but it's exhausting, going on show after show after show after show. And it does get to drain. So you just kind of want to just shoot the breeze sometimes and just talk things up. And like I said, I did that actually yesterday with the good old, I now consider him a friend, but Mr. Will Perdomo. So we just streamed. I mean, we did talk about the books a little bit and their content, but we just mainly shooting the breeze almost. Yeah. It was fun.
Well, when were you reading indie comics? Were you in the 90s or?
You mean like indie, like Image and stuff like that?
Yeah, the stuff that was
Dark
I don't know
Horse.
if you were a 90s kid or.
Oh yeah, dude. I started my first comic ever was from a grocery store where if you bought so many groceries, they would hand out a comic book, and it was
cool.
Yeah, it was pretty cool, man. It was Thor number 411, so it was like the first cameo of the New Warriors or something like that, and Ron Friends, and who's kind of like a Kirby style influence, obviously he had on him. So I kind of grew up with that right there. But then once McFarlane, Liefeld, even Eric Larson, and Mark Silvestri, all these guys like came into Marvel. Then they went into Image, and then it's like things just exploded, man. You're like, wow, what's this like? And Dark Horse obviously was around for a while, so I was collecting some of that stuff back then too, but not as often as much as the Marvel. I was a Marvel guy. I like Batman, but I was more Marvel. But
I think I got into indies maybe a little bit before you here. I hit that dollar box, and I hit it pretty hard every time I go in. I'll bring over my DCBD stuff here. It's a small stack, and not all of it is old, by the way. Some of it's just weird. Like weird. The Misadventures of Adam West. And it's like, it's not a biography. It's like literally he's a character in the story, and they cast him as some sort of a super spy. And yes, he's played Batman, but notice how there's no ears and no chest symbol on that. Yeah, yeah. Tidewater, Blue Water wants no lawsuits aimed their way.
Yeah, I'll say.
So
That's funny.
I'm looking forward to getting into that one. This one here, I had to open it up because I was like, I had not heard of War Child.
Oh, you haven't heard of War Child? Yeah, I actually have a few of those. Yeah.
Oh, well, it's like I was talking with somebody. It's like, yeah, well, let's see who this is. And I turned it around like this to read the inside of it. And he's like, hey, it's Dan Fraga. I was like, what? Oh, there he is. It's Dan Fraga's Black Flag advertisement.
Yep.
But yeah, this was Jonathan Sabal, Danny Meeke, Chap Yap, Rob Liefeld. So I'm like, okay, well, I'm in. I'll check it out.
Yes, the Image guys did put out a lot of they put a lot of stuff.
A lot of stuff. They threw a lot of stuff at the wall, and they saw what stuck. And
but yeah, I when we were growing up, even with I grew up with Image pretty much. You know, that's because '90s is when we hardcore started. We were collecting this, like I said, the very late '80s, but Image really solidified that rebellion style, that indie style, that indie mindset, and. So actually, my first we actually did get to go to a San Diego Comic-Con, and that was actually in 1992.
Ooh,
so
nice.
it was a trip, man. My one brother got to meet Rob Liefeld. He even signed New Mutants number 87, and he gave him some art advice and wrote "Keep on Drawing." He wasn't even supposed to talk to the guy, and he met him, and it was fun, man. And we, I got to see people coming down the hallway. I saw Jim Lee. I think it was Jim Lee, Rob Liefeld, and Tom McFarlane just walking down the hallway of the hotel room. They were just chatting. We're like, I'm nerding out because I'm a kid.
Oh,
and, yeah, and we were even there for Jack Kirby's birthday. Actually, they did he was cutting the cake. It was it was wild. It was an experience.
My God.
Yeah,
I would love to have been there.
Oh, dude, it was great. I was 12, 13 or something like that. I remember it to this day. So, I don't remember much, but I remember that.
And the cons aren't the same anymore because you got to buy a ticket to get in, and you got to buy a ticket to get in the line, and then you got to get pay for your signature from the guy. I remember just looking down a hallway here, and I see Denny O'Neil getting up from the table, and I got the book, and I was like, I started to head his way, and he saw me, and I could tell he was leaving. I'm like, I'll come back. He's like, no, bring it over. And there was nobody there. That was my greatest Batman Adventures hardcover, and he signed the inside of that.
That's cool.
And you just walked around. I walked into rooms that you didn't even know if there was something going on in that room because it's pretty empty, but there's some tables. So let's go in and see what it is. Right. I walk in, and there's this huge watercolor painting on canvas of the Golden Age Green Lantern, Alan Scott, behind this much older guy and obviously his wife. And I was like, oh, that's pretty cool. And I looked down, Sheldon Moldoff. I was like, why are you?
They scatter people everywhere.
And I'm like, you should be like a headliner. You did Justice Society for All Star Comics. But you just walked around and found people. Dick Giordano, Jim Aparo, all those people I met and got signatures in that book. That book is like a collector's funeral book now because everybody who signed it is gone and dead.
Yeah, sorry, I heard what you were saying, but I kind of froze up a little bit, I think. But no, you're good. I caught it. But
all right. Armor from Continuity Comics. This was Neil Adams had a comic company of his own for a while.
I don't know what's going on with my internet. It's being jerkhead today.
Yeah,
I'm good now though.
Yeah, you froze up for a second there.
If I dip out, I'll try my best to come back in. Oh, there you go.
Yeah, this was Neil Adams. He did this. He did Toy Boy, and I'd always seen the ads for the Continuity Comic stuff, but I never saw the books themselves until just recently. So this is his first appearance of the Silver Streak. That's who that is in the background.
Streak. Okay, yeah.
Looks like Venom to me, but or Spider-Man in the black costume, but I think it's just the shadows. And then First Comics, Warp. I have no idea who did this, but it just looked really cool. Especially it's the gunfighter from Hell as he was billed down here. So I'm seeing it. Looks like an android gunfighter.
That's cool.
And then, the whole Elf Quest thing on the back of that.
Oh yeah,
Warp was doing Elf Quest.
yeah. My stuff's been compared to ElfQuest
I can see
stuff like
that.
yeah.
We're going to get that up here too in just a second.
Yeah, like I said, if I
come up at your book.
my internet's been funky, so like I said, if I cut out, I'll try to come back. It happened last night. We actually had some issues, and we had it fixed, I thought. So we'll see. But one thing I was going to say was like back then, you could even like Jim Lee was at a signing, and my brother, you only have so many books, and so I had some books, my brothers had some books, so I got mine signed, and my brothers got theirs signed, and they were supposed to get some for me. And he got the wrong ones. My brother brought up the wrong ones to sign. I'm like, dude, these are the wrong ones. I gave him the real ones. And Jim Lee was like, you know what? It's fine. I'll sign them. And that's how cool they were back then. Like he was a star at that point, but they still didn't have they didn't have that ego that, I'm where I work. I'm a big artist guy. You don't need to do what you want me to do. They didn't backtalk the fans. They didn't do anything. It was all about the fans.
It was all, and it was, there was none of this, my customer is the publisher and his customer is the comic shop. It's like, no, it's from me to you.
Yep.
But yeah, you talk about standing in line and getting stuff signed. I was in line for Peter David when he was hot on the Hulk.
Oh, nice.
And there's like, a guy, like 10 people ahead of me in line, and everyone's just kind of like sighing because he was obviously developmentally challenged. He was there with his dad, and he was like 20 something. So, it was one of those things where, dad held his arm kind of deal. And he had like everything Peter David had done.
Oh,
and
wow.
I was like, this is not going to go well. and he got up to the front of the line, and Peter took the first 5 books off of that and signed them. And then he pushed the stack to the side, took the next guy in line, then took the next 5 books off that stack and signed them, and took the next guy in line. And he did that until every single one of them damn books was signed. And
that's awesome.
I will always tell that Peter David story because it just made such an impression on me 30 years ago.
Well, yeah, that's what it's about, though. That's what it's about. It's about character, integrity, and it's about the fans. So my brother, we were getting Spawn #1, or it was Spawn had been out for a while, but McFarlane was at a signing, and he was only signing Spawn books. And my one brother has Spider-Man 300. And he's like, oh, I'm going to try to get this signed. He signed it. McFarlane signed it, even though he said specifically, no, he's just signing Spawn. Because he saw, my brother was the only one with Spider-Man 300. He's like, yeah, I'm going to sign that. And he signed it. Character.
I probably put him on that path. I saw him in Chicago when it was still the Chicago Comic Cons, and comic people showed up there. And I'm always looking for the weird thing to get signed because I'm trying to, it's like you said, you say the same thing in your interviews all the time. I'm sure they sign the same books all the time. What more can you say? So everybody's there with Spawn, Spider-Man, Spawn. I plopped down an Infinity Ink.
Oh, nice.
That he did the ink sign.
That's awesome.
I think it was Infinity Ink 14 too, but it was
awesome.
I was like, I think is it one of his earliest works.
I was trying to see. Yeah, I got Spawn #4 signed, hanging up back there.
Oh, so, sweet. Yeah. Ryan Wins in the chat says you got
hell.
mustache on.
Yeah, I shaved up a little bit, starting to get warmer. I had a full beard, and this is kind of like my this is my logo, my signature in a way. Because if you look at my beard's at the bottom there.
I got you.
Yeah, that's my logo. It's my branding. I've had that logo for like 20 years.
I get mine out to a little bit of a Luciferian point, but then it kind of looks like a Billy Goat, and it's like, okay.
Yeah, I embrace the goat, man. I embrace the full Billy. I don't mind. Yeah.
We have Mike Barron on here a lot, so when I saw one of his badgers,
oh, there you go.
I had to grab that.
I remember that stuff.
I'm gonna pop this up like this. It looks better.
There you go. Yeah. That's cool.
And this was, from First, back when that was another comic company that was out there doing the indie thing.
Yep.
So who did it? Ron Lim. Ron Lim's doing the art on this one. Another name from the past.
Yeah. Yeah, I love that like weird old school stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. Now nobody knows this one. Very few people do anyway.
You're right. I don't know that one.
Yeah, League of Champions. Well, I picked it up because I recognized this character here. That's Kristen. That's her code name. It's Kristen. Henry Vogel is her creator. He did. She was from this team called Southern Knights, and that thing went on for like 35 to 40 issues as a superhero team. And she's just really strong, and she didn't want a superhero code name because she thought they were dumb. So she just wears her waitress or not her waitress uniform, but her Georgia sports team gear. But you had the marksman. You had who was this other guy here? Aramis, I have no idea where he's from, but they were all from different books that were being published by Hero Graphics at the time.
That's pretty cool.
Very,
What?
very, very indie.
Yeah, one book that particularly really hit me as far as indie goes, like, cause stuff was out there still and everything was still hot, but Faust, man, when I saw the
Tim
interior
Vigil.
stuff, oh, dude, when I saw that, I'm like, this is awesome. I'm like, this is crazy. This is the kind of stuff I want to do.
I think Tim Vigil was probably the first non-underground book I saw that carried content warnings on the books.
Yeah.
Because it was like, if you saw a content warning, it was something like cherry Pop Tart or.
I think mine has a second printing or something, but it's got like a black fold over it, like as a warning or something like that. Yeah, it's pretty cool. But yeah, when I saw that, I'm like, this is what indie is. Like yeah, obviously Turtles and stuff like that, but I'm like,
sure.
This is kind of what like adult indie is. Like Turtles, yeah.
Turtles lit a fire. They kind of sparked it all up again.
Right.
Got it out of the underground, but
yeah.
I saw number one.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, I have like 4 of those.
Dollar Bin.
Yeah, dude. That's what I love about the Dollar Bin. You'll find stuff like that. And dude, the interiors of that are gorgeous. Like that book is beautiful. So yeah, you'll find cool stuff like that. I mean, you'll find a lot of trash too, but.
Oh yeah. Ultraverse
yep.
Solution. This is inked by our buddy Mike S. Miller.
There you go. So, look at that. Yeah.
Mike, we got to get you on the show sometime if you're watching and hear your ears burning here.
Oh, yeah. Fire is under my seat because of it. Look at that.
I'm going to do what I should have done, maybe 20 minutes ago now.
Yeah,
I'm going to share this screen over here.
Yeah.
And,
hey, I know that book.
Yeah, I see that book there. Now this is some very intense black and white. Now you're writing and drawing this, right?
Writing and drawing it, and even there's some colored stuff, and I'm coloring this everything, and I do everything except editing. Shay from Red Valkyrie, she's my editor, and she does a great job. So
it's always good to have another pair of eyes on things because.
Oh yeah. Oh, they're over there. I was looking for the original pages.
Yeah,
but
I've gotten some high profile CG and crowdfunded books. And I'm like, they look great. The story's fun, but my God, you should have let somebody read this thing first.
Yeah, dude. Book 1 has been getting had great reception, and I'm very excited about it because I don't really consider myself a writer. Like I said, this is my first comic book. Like I draw them all the time. I draw characters all the time, but I never wrote one before.
Well, you're a writer now.
Yeah, pretty much. I guess. Yeah. Although I kind of spent it all on CG books, but that's beside the point.
Reinvested it back into the system.
Yeah, exactly. I put it back into the scene, but
that's where all my Biden bucks went.
Yeah, that's I mean, that's where they're going. But yeah, so people have been really liking it, and I'm overwhelmed with the reception of what the first book got. So I'm really hoping that they dig the second one. As far as writing goes, also as well as the art, because I usually work digitally sometimes because I have a vision problem. A lot of people who know me know about it, and I'm pretty much almost totally blind in my left eye and partially blind in my right eye.
Oh,
so I work digital helps me a lot to zoom in, and I mainly work in sections, so it just helps a lot. But I've been also doing something different with the second half of this book, as to where I'm doing like just the line art of the exterior almost of the character, and just like maybe 20% of it is digital, and then 80% is traditional. So I'm getting more smudges in and smearings and like the weird stuff that I really like to do, and getting gritty and dirty. So it'll still look the same because I try to do digitally what I can do traditionally, and vice versa. And like even in the settings of my brushes in digital, I only use the one as like a nib. I don't really use like the spreading out. I don't make my own brushes or anything. I just use a nib thing, and that's it. I go to town. So I'm hoping people really like what I'm going to be doing with this book. So
yeah. So speaking of the reception, I don't know. I didn't look up your first book, so I don't know what you made on it. Are you doing better with the second book than you did on the first one, or?
It's blowing it out of the water pretty much. I had this at the end of the second month. What I have here, and I've only been it's just been live for a week.
Oh, so you're still in your first 30. Good Lord.
Yeah, I'm in my first 30. This thing, everybody was so supportive. They came out. I got funded in like 10 hours or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I had hit the first stretch goal within a week, and I mean everyone's reception. Like I said, it's I owe it to the fans. You know, they've been fantastic.
Yeah. So what's that saying is that your first set of readers came back,
Yeah.
and they brought people with them, which is all what crowdfunding is supposed to be. It's not supposed to be like a yard sale. It's you get the people who buy it invested into getting other people to come as well. That's the genius of the stretch goal. Is like, I funded this thing, but he needs 10 more people to get it, so I can get this really cool page of art. Hey, you 10 friends of mine, go get this book.
Right. Well, not on top of that, like when I did the first campaign, I was unfamiliar with how to go about doing it. So I was really mainly only on Frega's channel, and and I got on Red Valkyrie pretty much a month in to my first campaign. But before then, like I said, I was hanging out with Frega when he first started his YouTube streams. So I pretty much knew those guys. So I did okay as far as like not being known on anything in the first month.
And he freezes up again. But while we wait for Jason to come back,
week anyway, but I died. Like it was like, so this. Let me try turning my camera off and see if that helps. But I hope I don't do that again.
Sometimes it does. But no, it's just a bandwidth issue.
So, yeah, which I don't understand. I haven't really had an issue, but I've never had an issue before. I swear.
This is the first time it's ever happened, honey.
The first time it's ever happened to me. I swear. No, but yeah, I've been going on streams a lot more. I've been engaged with the chats. I've met a lot of cool people. Like Ryan Wynn, Frog G, Lord Crackhead. Like I can name names, Rick Saylor, off the top of my head like crazy now, because a lot of these people I consider my friends now. So because of that, people know me. They've gotten to know my style. They know my art. They know my writing, and they've recommended it to other people. Even people who didn't get it the first time. They're like, "Oh, I can't believe I missed it. I'm sorry." So I do have the first book on this campaign. So if people missed it, you can catch up. So
that's a great thing to put on your second campaign, or your third if you're going into a series. I mean, I just backed a book yesterday, their 10th issue that they're on, and they still had books 1 through 9 available in trade paperback form. But there was a tier there where you're like, hey, catch it all up.
Yep.
One from the beginning. It was Miskatonic High, so it was like this Lovecraft meets Scooby-Doo kind of thing.
Okay. Yeah, and that's smart to do. You should do that, even if you don't have like the overprint. Doing a trade to catch people up is always a good thing.
Yes, always. So your featured tier here is 2 copies of the current book, but one of them is this awesome looking Max cover tribute. Yeah. I like that. Again, harkening back to those first days of Image, those indie roots.
Yeah, and also a lot of people know Sam Keith is a big influence of mine, like Jonathan Wayshak.
Okay, so it's not just the camera that's killing you tonight, Jason. So
Eastman and Laird, I love the Max, but I cut out again. But anyway, I don't know. Maybe a lot of people are online, maybe streaming in my house.
Your wife's got Netflix on.
Yeah. Well, divorced wife in Florida, but no, she's sharing my account. No, I live in like a commune pretty much. There's a lot of people here, but no, yeah, as I was saying, so Sam Keith was a big influence, and since I wanted to pay homage to it, so I did, say after Sam Keith on the cover, I do pay tribute to him, but it was a lot of fun to do. So yeah, I love his style.
It's not like you found Sam Keith's blue lines somewhere.
Yeah, dude. I opened the Max #1 on like a different browser, and I just glanced at it while I did up that page, and I colored it separately from everything. Like once I got the basic outline down, I inked it up just on my own. But yeah, it was fun.
So what is Absolute? What is that, a character? Is that just a feeling?
It's just more. It's kind of like a vague title description, kind of like Sin City. That's the way I look at it. It's just I had 2 titles for this: Obsolete or Absolute, and it kind of came about because of the aliens. They kind of have absolute power over everything in this book, and so that's why Obsolete was another way to go, because humans are obsolete. So it was one of those 2, and I settled on Absolute. Actually, a friend voted with me as well, but
It would have been
So,
cool to use both, just like, start with obsolete and end with absolute.
well, Obsolete is a album by Fear Factory. So I don't, I could have been like, hey, you just stole off Fear Factory's title. So I
Yeah,
didn't want, yeah. But it's still a great title. I kind of, I could still maybe use it if nobody else has in the past or in
yeah,
the future.
doesn't matter. It's just a word. It's
Yeah,
it's in the
exactly.
dictionary.
Yeah, yeah. So yeah, but like absolute power, absolute control, or an absolute discovery of yourself. It's a vague word, yeah. But like I said, I wanted an idea based off of like a Sin City vibe, where I can come back to certain characters or background characters, and it kind of is self-containing in this, not a universe as much as just like a pocket. So, like, yeah, this is kind of it's not really a universe story. This takes place on Earth. It is a battle against aliens, but there's background characters, there's other characters in the city that I can explore and discover. And like, even the samurai priest is the guy that's in the max pose. People love him, and I do plan on doing a side story of him. So that's kind of like the reason behind Absolute. And also, it's a one word. It's easy to remember and say.
Yeah.
If you do the font right, it's easy to see from far away. So if it's on a shelf, I mean, it was also a graphic design standpoint and a marketing standpoint. You don't want something that's like 18 syllables or 14 words as your title. Like Jim Lee had Divine Right, The Adventures of Max Payne and Company, or something like that. It was like
Yeah.
insanely long. It's like, dude, just call it Divine Right. Easy enough.
Yeah.
Like, so.
The fantabulous emancipation of one Harley Quinn. Uh,
Exactly.
yeah, we don't want that. In
No,
more
we
ways
don't.
than one, we don't want that.
We don't want that. No.
Um,
Yeah.
so I'm really digging the art style here. Something like this, it's reminding me of Big Daddy Roth. Um,
Big Daddy Roth.
oh, he did the again. This is way before your time. This is early '70s now.
Mm.
He used to do cartoons. It was a magazine about automobiles, and it was all cartoons about them. And he had these drag strip racers. But if you look up I think it's Eli Big Daddy Roth. But he did the rat rods and the rat racers, and he had these elongated kind of. Anyway, yeah, that kind of style.
Interesting. Oh, that's cool though. I mean, I'm always flattered if I remind somebody of something good.
Yeah, I love the sharp lines on it too. I mean, you look like you could cut your throat on this guy's hair.
Yeah, well, like this is digital, but another reason the sharp lines are there, and the reason for that is that's a Jay Lee type influence coming through, where he had those like if you look at like Hellshock or even his Batman Superman run, he's got these sharp, just insane razor. Like even in the Inhumans, he did it, where these like you said, you can cut yourself on those lines, and I was really inspired by that. So I incorporate that quite a lot actually in things.
And now he doesn't look like too threatening of a villain when you see him in scale.
Yeah, he's a small guy, but he's the like the interrogator or the torturer guy for the Envy, the alien race that took over the planet. And what happens is like this guy he's torturing. He's actually just like a lone bounty hunter type guy that's just looking for the next score, and that guy ends up going on this ultimate quest, and he takes on a partner because it's a difficult quest, and this person is actually out to overthrow the Envy, so she's steering him towards that path while he just wants to retire and live a happy life, and yeah, so this leads him to like this scene almost, so he's like he's getting tortured by this little guy, and that guy is not a very good man.
No, he doesn't seem to be.
No, he's not.
Have you ever watched The Blacklist?
My brother watches it. I think that's the one
Oh,
with the voice of Voltron guy, right?
yeah.
Yeah.
David Spade.
Yeah, that's him.
He's obviously a master criminal. He's got all these other contacts. He has his interrogator that shows up all the time, and it's this old guy with an oxygen tank with the hose going under his nose, and you never know how he gets information out of people. But he'll just come out of the room and he'll be like, "So what'd you learn?" He's like, "I need more equipment. I'm going to need a llama, a can of Crisco, and some salt." You never know what he's doing, and you don't think he's that threatening, but he always gets the information somehow.
Yeah. I mean, and this guy, like I said, he's short. He doesn't seem, he's if you look at him out of scale, but he's there's a reason why he's the Envy's like torture guy. He'll get stuff out of you. So yeah, he's called the Rat.
Oh, he looks like a rat. Yeah.
Yeah, and I
The,
did
the
my job.
the price on this is good. I mean, I didn't mention that you're getting 2 books up here for $30, which, $15 a piece. Hey, look, I can do math.
Yeah,
Uh,
and you actually save money that route because the variant is a little bit more. So if you go that route, you save
oh,
$5.
well, and of course, your shipping is going to be less
And
too
the
because
shipping.
it's
Yeah,
cheaper to ship
exactly.
2 books than it is to ship one. Or
Exactly.
no, it's cheaper to ship
Well,
two in one box than it is to ship two in 2 boxes. Yeah.
exactly. Yeah, you're going to save money there. And I also have, except for the higher tiers, obviously, but I have a flat $10 shipping, worldwide shipping rate.
Oh, very cool. Worldwide. You are taking a bite. I lost him. It's quiet again.
The higher tiers are like 15, but
Okay.
yeah, it's weird. I cut out, but I come right back in a couple seconds, so
You
I
come
should
right
be
back,
okay.
but you
Yeah,
kind of
but
you kind of talk over yourself because it catches up. It's like what you stop still is like waiting to come through, and then it comes through, and then you're on top of it saying, "Oh, I got cut off again," while you're still talking.
that's awesome.
It's really weird.
We'll just roll with it.
Yeah,
Yeah, we'll roll with the
I've
punches.
had worse nights. I've had guys
Yeah,
disappear for 10 minutes. I'm just like talking about the book, and then pop back in.
yeah.
Uh,
Well, like I said, I got another stream at 9. If she remembers, but I have another stream at 9, so I'm kind of hoping this fixes itself now, so I can be okay with you and later on. So yeah, but we shall continue.
we shall continue. You can also get the original book for an extra $5. You can get a signature on it here.
Yeah,
Uh,
there. Well, you get to pick your cover actually, and
oh,
also the reason why I did a charged and did a selection things because not everybody wants their book signed.
true.
So this way you can just decide, hey, I want it signed or I don't want it signed. I know plenty of people that think that it ruins the value or ruins the look of it. So yeah, I don't care, dude. But
No,
some people do. So
no, if it's got the creator signature on it, it's cool. If it's got like the grocery clerk signature on it for like a return back to the magazine shop, not so cool.
not so
Uh,
cool. Yeah,
I've got some of those.
yeah.
Like,
But
oh,
yeah,
it's
if you
Wayne's
get the
AG.
if you get the variant signed, you're saving $5 because the variant's 20. If you get the signature tier is 20, so you're pretty much getting it signed for free.
Getting it
So
signed for free.
yeah.
So new heroes also. Now this is I'm going to guess that that's Samurai Priest right there, isn't it?
Yeah, the top one, Samurai Priest.
So this would be the
He
new hero.
the one below the little girl there. That's one of the new heroes, and she's a shapeshifter. So you get to see her. She likes dogs, so you get to see what happens whenever she shapeshifts. So
Okay,
yeah,
you got a little bit
so
of a dog nose there going on.
yeah, so yeah.
Okay.
She's a little thing. So yeah, you get to see some fun stuff with her.
Exciting action. Well, yeah, this is the pictures almost look like they're in motion. Very dynamically posed here,
Thank you.
and he is,
Well, yeah, dude, he's blasting away.
and he's
Yeah.
surrounded by alien critters.
Yeah. That was a fun page because, like I said, 20% digital and 80% traditional. So that was a fun page to throw some ink down on that one. And the reason why, like, even if someone's standing still, I try to have something moving or look like it's moving. It makes the panel breathe. So I don't know. It's just something I've always liked to do. Even like the way I draw things, there's always you'd have to zoom in pretty tight, but there's usually a spacer in between a line or something. It looks like it's vibrating, and I
Yeah,
just like that.
yeah. I'd exactly like that. Like the Charles Schultz's later years on Peanuts, they were all kind of
Yeah,
very
yeah.
rough lines. It gave it a new feeling to it.
Yeah, well, I'm a
Um,
huge fan of artist Garrick Hess. He's actually like he does artwork for bands and flyers and posters and stuff like that. He's a big artist. He started off in Cleveland, but that's where I'm from. But his style is very sketchy and very loose and dynamic. And I drew a lot.
I'll wait. You drew a lot. Watch, it's going to pop back up, and it'll be
I
right on top of
was
himself.
like, things can look like they have emotion. So we'll see if I caught up.
You caught up. It speed
Awesome.
talked. It went kind of fast as it rolled through.
That's fine. I kind of speed talk a little bit sometimes anyway. So it works out.
But yeah, this looks like something I would have found in Heavy Metal magazine back in the day.
Awesome.
So yeah,
That's cool. Yeah.
Send it off to them if they're still. Well, they are still in business now.
Yeah, from what I heard though, they kind of went crap too. So,
Well, yeah.
yeah.
So here you get the 11x17 villain poster,
Mhm.
along with the choice of your cover for $30. So for $10 more, you can get the
Yep.
poster along with the
I
alternate
yeah.
cover.
I've been working off and on the poster on like I've been drawing with Dan Plagle of Goblin Girl, which everybody should go sign up for that as well. I've been working on the lines. Oh, the Valkyrie's like okay. Um, there we go. I'm going to share my screen so you can see some of the
Oh yeah, yeah.
share my screen and drop out probably. All right. All right. So I'm sharing my screen here. So here's some of the detail that I'm working on with the poster. So there's the on the alien guy, up top, and then I
Yeah.
have the other wrecking ball guy that's from issue 1, and I'm gonna have the her name is General Mara down here with the horns and stuff. She was in book 1. So these are my lines that I lay out from, and then I just tighten it up. But so yeah, so the poster's digital. It's gonna be digital and digital.
Yep. He killed the stream. Oh man,
On and off and on. So it's the villain's poster. So yeah.
somebody's hogging your bandwidth, man.
Yeah. I'm not happy. I don't know what's going on. Were you able to see it just fine though?
I was. It looked cool.
All right, cool, good. I did.
Throw this back up here on the stream
Yeah.
here.
I mean, I'll share a couple more things off and on here.
Let's see. So that was the poster. Oh, you got a sketch card too. So your choice of your cover, you get the poster as well. This is kind of building. I like that.
Yeah, you get the poster. I'm gonna actually turn my camera on for this because I do have samples of the sketch card, and I'm doing 13 sketch cards. So here's kind of what they look like.
Oh, you got a splash of color in there.
Yeah. There's a little bit of color in each.
And of course, it's red to match his red Valkyrie hat. Well, you can get a real good look at that picture right now, folks.
Yeah, but yeah. So that's like what the sketch cards look like, and you can get the poster with that one. So it's only $5 for the sketch card. So yeah,
that's a deal. That's a deal.
Yeah.
Now here's where we can catch up. So you got Absolute 1 and 2 for $45.
Yeah,
it's 2 books. Again, you got to upcharge, number 1 because
yep.
You don't have that many of them left.
I don't. I did overprint, but there's not that many. I do have book 1 as an add-on as well to every tier but this one. So yeah. So yeah, if you wanted a different tier, you can go ahead and get that and get the first book for an upcharge, but the shipping then would work out. So
that makes sense.
Yeah.
And then what have we got here? We got the original cover and an original sketch. Now, that's not the sketch card. That's probably more like a backing board size sketch.
Yeah, it's 6x9. I actually did get some. I ordered some cards, heavy card stock, 100-pound. I tested it actually, so it works out great. Like the image you see there is a 9x12 one that I did in the last campaign, but that's kind of like the detail that I put in. I put in like a sketchy, or not sketchy, but like a tight. I noodle a lot. I get carried away. So they're usually highly detailed sketches, so to speak. So you get a head sketch, and that's the last campaign that was cost a little more, but these are smaller, so they're going to cost less. Plus you get the, I do believe you get the Absolute Cyborg trading card. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen so you can get a better look at the Absolute.
Foil trading card.
Yeah, it's all foil, because the last campaign had a foil trading card as well. So I'm sharing my screen there. There's the, that's the Cyborg Valkyrie trading card. So yeah, because Shay was the Absolute Valkyrie, and then Cyborg Valkyrie, so I have the Absolute Cyborg. So yeah, so that'll be in that tier, and there were other ways to get it in the past. So, but it's available in the higher tiers now. So yeah.
All right, cool.
So yeah, that was a good one.
So now we got one-off interior art. What is one-off?
That's because, like I said, I work digitally, so you do get the one-off print of that page. My blue line's on it. It's high res, and I do go over it with some live ink. So, and I add a little extra types of stuff. That way, you really can't fake it. There's no way. So, and then that file no longer gets to reprinted ever again. So it's you get like an original page. Yeah, it's printed, but you get an original page with some live ink on it. There's only so many of those because the first half of the book is digital, so there's only so many of those.
Sure.
And you get pretty much almost everything else. There are some other things you don't get that are in the higher tiers, but I had a couple people back that the last campaign, and they really liked it. So, and like I said, I do add live ink, so these are actual pages that you will get that are printed in the book.
And this is again building on what's gone before because you still get the 11 by 17 poster. You've got
Mhm.
the Cyborg Valkyrie trading card. And then you get all three trading cards.
Yeah. That obviously you're like, hey, wait, I haven't seen that yet. The reason for that you haven't seen that yet is I have three artists that I like working on this campaign, doing some trading cards. Dan Plagle of Goblin Girl, also known as Boob Dan Art. I have Christopher John, who's just an amazing talent. I'm going to share my screen because I have Dan Plagle's and Christopher John's concept are pretty much finished, almost finished pieces. But and then also Death Metal Hero is doing a card as well that I've yet to get. Now, everyone will get at least two of those cards, no matter what. This is Christopher John. This is his trading card right here of the Wrecking Ball guy that will be further explored in the next issue. And I will be coloring these. And then here's Boobdan Art. This is just the pencils. He did ink it. So this is the pencils of General Mara. So everybody's going to get at least two trading cards no matter what. Now, whether or not how to get the third one, whether you back the campaign more than once or you find somebody else that has the one you're missing, that's up to you. Now, if you get these higher tiers, you get all three.
Okay.
You don't have to worry about hunting anything down. So it's like a little fun thing that I'm trying to do here with the campaign to, have some interaction with people and stuff.
Yeah.
Like that.
Well, that's the thing with trading cards is that the chase was always the fun of collecting.
Exactly.
That's
Yep.
That's why I've always said, if they wanted to, if crowdfunders and CGers wanted to have some real fun with campaigns and support each other, you remember those X-Men Flair cards of the 90s?
Oh yeah, dude.
Yeah.
Shelby from 1994. His campaign has like cards that look like those.
Okay. Well, cool.
Yeah.
And you remember how once you got 9 consecutive cards that were in the series and you put them in your little page, hey, it made like one big picture.
Yep. Yeah.
But you had to chase those cards down.
Yeah, you did. It took forever too. I believe Patrick Thomas Parnell did that with Johnny Phantasm 1985. He has like a Cecil, like a Cecil like neurosis or whatever, like a liver Cecil.
Yeah.
If you put them in the back, you put them together, it makes like a liver spotted Cecil or something. It's funny.
Exactly. But he's giving you all 9 of them. Right.
He's giving you all. He's giving you all of them. Yeah.
My idea is you get 9 different crowdfunder campaigns. Each of them do their own card by the same artist. And then, you say, hey, this is card number 1 of 9 that these other 8 campaigns are, participating in. So now it's like, well, shoot, I was going to buy these 2 anyway, but I might as well go look at these other 6 because I've got to have all 9 cards now. Especially if, you had some high profile artist who did the big page that gets cut into the 9 cards.
Right.
Yeah, because that would just be like everybody's helping everybody there.
I kind of had an idea, and it would be kind of tricky. Like, I do my card, but it's in another person's campaign. So the only way to get it is if you back their campaign with my character, my card, my book. My book's not in there, but it's a character from my book. That way, you kind of have to. It's also an incentive to back these other campaigns that aren't like Black Flag or Cyberfrog or these big ones. If you do these for like little creators too, it's a little more of a fun thing to chase down and have fun. It's something I thought about. Obviously,
there are people doing that.
Are there?
Yeah, there's if you see Perfect 10.
Oh yeah, that's right.
And the Embrace.
They have that poster. Yeah, they have the poster. Yeah, that's a cool idea. I really dug that.
I like the stuff that gets people working together because that's one of the things that once you're done putting the knives in each other's back. It's I always use the example like that's what makes this comic book movement different from the mainstream and what it's been. Can you imagine late 60s, if you're in the DC offices, the phone rings and, Julie Schwartz picks up the phone. It's like, Julie, Stan over here at Marvel. Hey, look, we're getting ready to kick off this Spider-Man character here. And I got a few questions. We're not sure how to, hello? Nobody helped anybody. It was like, you're on your own. Yeah. But here it's like, oh, you're launching a campaign and you're running into this problem. Yeah, I had that too. Here's how I got around it. Or go talk to this guy. He can help you with that.
Like that's what I've said. Like this is we're competing in a way against each other, but at the same time we're not. This is it's friendly competition. We want to help each other out. We want to have everybody wants to have everybody succeed, but at the same time, we also want to get more money ourselves. So, how do you get more backers? How do you get, that's the competitive edge. We're not trying to steal other people's backers, but we just want to get more ourselves. So it actually it makes your game stronger because
Oh
you
yeah,
got to put harder work into this to try to do better than the next guy, but you want him to get that too. So it's friendly competition is very healthy and it should be supported.
exactly. Well, look at what happens to the comic shops. I mean, when there are fewer and fewer good books out there, people quit buying those as
Yep.
well because they're just not. It's not worth the trip going to the shop. So
Yeah.
if you're the only person making indie comics, it's going to be a lot harder than if you were like one of 100 and people are like, I'm going comic shopping today
Yeah.
on Indiegogo. Let's see all the cool stuff.
Exactly. Yep. I
Uh,
concur.
God, this is now that you can see absolute book 2 cover straight up front. This is the bad guy. This is the villain.
No, that's
No,
actually the good guy. He's just
oh,
he's
they're all
he's going through quite a lot there. So that's why he looks so intense and just determined. So I could see why people have confused this with the villain. The villain are the aliens, the Envy, but he's like just trying to overcoming these impossible odds.
well.
So that's not an easy feat.
Yeah, you know what made me say it was the villain is because
Oh, that's why
right,
everybody's saying it. I
yeah,
have
it's
original
like
cover right there. Do I have villains underneath it or something?
no, you just down here it says 11 by 17 villain poster, and you look and you see the big picture, and it's like,
Oh,
oh, that
okay.
must be the villain poster.
Yeah, that's unfortunate.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm going to add stuff to this. I can even add an image that would bump that down. So, yeah. No, yeah, the villain's poster is just the poster with the bad guys on it. So, yeah.
The three bad guys that you were showing
Yeah,
us who
yeah,
are still being developed there.
yeah.
And now for the $500 tier, what are we getting here? You're getting you can get the original cover, the 11 by 17, an original sketch, trading card, the original art cover. Oh,
Yep.
that would be
Yeah,
this.
that would be
art.
that one. Yeah. The Max one sold, and that one is still available. That cover's still available. That one sold out. So that one is sold, gone.
Yeah.
To a lucky backer. So yeah,
And
and there is also a original page perk. We skipped over.
yeah, you're right. I did skip over that one. There it is
That's
right
okay.
here. $250.
Yeah.
Do they get you've got the page picked out?
It's random. Now the first person that backed that, they were in a stream with me when I was showing off one of the original pages, and since they backed during that stream, they actually bumped me over. They were the ones who bumped me over the funding, and I was like,
Oh.
"This is yours." So they were like thrilled about it. So
Yeah.
they actually pretty much in a way they picked theirs, but not like but it's randomized. I obviously like if I only sell like 3 or 4, you're gonna get something really cool. If I sell them all, it's random, really random at that point. But
Yeah.
yeah, the original cover like has everything. The original interiors that has everything in the campaign as well. So those are the two big boys. Yeah.
Oh, and now we're getting down here to the stretch goals here. I'll try to speed things along because I know you're going out of the stream tonight.
Well, I haven't gotten notification. We're fine. We're all right.
Okay, all right. You've unlocked this one. This is the Old Man D&D trading card by you. So what's a D&D trading card? I don't remember D&D trading cards. I played D&D.
Well, yeah, they didn't have them. That's why I made these actually. So you get a trading card of the character. You get an image of them and stuff. But you flip it over, it has their D&D stats, like second edition D&D has like strength,
okay.
intelligence, wisdom, all that stuff. Their name,
Charisma,
their height,
yeah.
their weight, stuff like. Well, this one doesn't have his name. The old man is called the old man because his name isn't revealed throughout the whole story. But only people who signed up on the mailing list for the last campaign, they got a trading card with his name on it.
Okay.
So they were the only ones that really know his name. But you have all the stats, and underneath that, like in the little description, you'll get like a power set and stuff like that of what he does. So you can play as him in D&D. So
Gotcha.
That's why I have quite a couple of these D&D cards. There's more in this campaign as well.
That's the other thing that that thing I talked about with the trading cards. I've also had this thought that somebody should put out, and I think somebody's doing it now. I think somebody in Australia is doing this one. Someone should just make like a generic collectible card game, like Magic the Gathering is, and then open source the rules.
Yeah.
So that you can put your characters and your setting stuff in, like, hey, you can get a booster pack of Absolute for your CCG card trade, CCG Gate gaming.
Yeah, no, you're right. There is somebody doing it. I don't know I don't know who it is though. But if they were to ever hit, I think they should hit up all these creators, like even me. I would love. I would totally just be like, yeah, I'd drop some stuff and just send it to him, send him the images so he could print them. I wouldn't even care. Like, give me like what, pay me per image.
Yeah.
Like $20 the draw, or $20, like
Well,
$60 for the card drawing.
but I'm
Whatever
thinking
that.
you could put the cards as a perk in your own tiers and say, hey, I have a booster pack for
Yeah,
this
there
game,
you go.
and
Yeah,
everybody could do it.
yeah. I mean, well, it is this guy's idea, so you kind of got to give him a percentage, I would think.
Oh yeah.
So
Well, I mean,
yeah,
that's why I said you open source the game. Is like
right.
you get the booster pack, but you can't play it if you don't get the core set.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, there you go. Yeah. Yeah, and that's a great idea. And I can't remember who it is, but I would definitely do stuff like that, man. I would do a card
he's
up for that.
he's one of Kemosabe's buddies. They're working together, but I can't think of his name off the top of my head.
I'll yell at Kimosabe to get him, to do other things.
So you're at 5,500 right now. I had to scroll back up there to see how far you were from 7,000 because stickers. That's for some stupid reason. That's the thing I look for. Like,
I love
oh, look at this
stickers.
cool comic book. Look
Yeah.
at this, great book. I'm like, where's the stickers?
Yeah, I love stickers. Knowing me, even if I don't hit that, I'll probably put stickers in this just because I like stickers.
Well,
And my last
I get sticker
campaign,
mule stuff all the time.
yeah, my last campaign had a total of 4 stickers with it. Everybody liked them. So I really want to do more, and I got to drop more characters, and I'm gonna do stuff like you see my logo now as it is. Before is the white one. This time on this campaign, I'm gonna have this symbol, this logo, as like a patch or a sticker or something, because before it was the regular white one. So I'm gonna do an inverted logo, which is this, probably an inverted logo of Absolute, and then draw up a couple more, images, and just have some cool stickers, man.
Yeah, and you're gonna get some window clings when you hit 9,000.
Yeah. That's gonna be fun. We do an
Yeah.
Envy window cling.
Um, the inverted logo on a circle patch. Everyone's liking
Yeah.
patches. I'm not a patch guy. Don't know why.
I'm not either, but Shay's my editor, so she kind of will cap out my knees if I don't put a patch on in this campaign as
Shay
well.
likes patches.
She loves the
noticed that.
patches. Yeah, she
Does she-
loves the patches.
Does she have
So
like a jacket she puts them on or something? Or
yeah, she's got a jacket. My last patch was a bigger than this one's gonna be, and it was oval. So this one's gonna be circular and something you could put on like a beanie or something like that. That way, because I like beanies, and so I don't mind putting a patch on that. But yeah, so I was like, you know what, I could do an inverted logo patch. I think that would be kind of cool. Some people might
I don't
like
even know
it.
how to put the patches on. Do you iron them or they glue on, or do you like have to sew them?
With the guy I order it from anyway, there's an option to do iron on, and I do that. I just click the box for iron on, so you iron on the ones that I get. So
And then it just glues on real tight, and you do
pretty much, yeah. I mean, obviously you can still sew it in if you really wanted to, but I have an iron on back.
Okay, and then for $250,000,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Shave off my beard.
totally worth it.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to talk to some guys because they just got a guy's head shaved for funding his comic book.
Yeah, yeah, mine's attached to my logo, so yeah, that's like my image, So hey, pay off my student loans. That's fine. I'll do it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
You'd have to drop a whole new logo after that.
Yeah, I know. I had to just cut the beard off and just be my floating head with a solo eye. Yeah, and be
So
as appealing.
This is pretty cool. You know what we didn't do? We didn't play the video.
Oh yeah, there's a trailer. Oh yeah, I forgot about that. Yeah.
I play that thing right up front, or at least very.
We were gabbing.
Yeah, nothing moved. Nothing. I have helped you not at all tonight, Jason.
Oh, you're fine, man. No worries. I don't mind hanging out, and people watch the replay. They could share it out. There's a lot of ways.
Absolutely. And by the way, the link to it is in the description right at the bottom of the video. I'm pointing at the bottom of my screen, just like my camera's on. Like people can see me.
Yeah, I do. I do that stuff too.
Let's go ahead and give this a play.
Sure thing.
Our heroes are captured and tortured for information, prodded and probed by the Envy Horde to reveal the secrets of the Tumulti and secure their position as the ultimate species. Will they survive? Will the joining of two new heroes help them overthrow malicious Unhinged overlords? Will their heroics save the planet? Find out on the epic conclusion to Absolute.
All right. All right. There you
Yeah.
go. The epic conclusion. Now,
Epic.
what are you, are you even thinking past this book yet?
I mean, throughout doing, after the first one ended, I even had thoughts of something second. But my brother's has a concept he's been wanting to do, and I told him, after this, we'll go ahead and get that started. So we'll work on his, which is. I'm describing it more as like a horror, biblical horror type aspect that takes place on Earth. So, I mean, that's how I'm describing it. Whether or not I'm doing it wrong, I don't know. But I have my own ideas past this as well. So, and like I said, I do have Samurai Priest that, let me try to turn my camera on. Maybe you can see my beautiful face now.
I was going to say, I didn't turn my light on. I just got a notification.
Red Valkyrie?
Yes.
Yeah, she's live. That's not the one I'm going on. Yeah,
Okay.
She just, that's every Friday night she does a stream. But
just let her know I'm subscribed.
I will, man. I'll tell her. Yeah, I'll yell at her. I'll fire her, actually. I fire her at least once a week, if not every other day. But yeah, and I like Frog G. He's always like, get Jason to $249.99 or whatever. You just $1 under $1 million
Just
to make me panic.
under.
Yeah, just to make me panic.
We'll get it to like 250,001, and you'll be like, refund somebody.
I shaved this one time. Ever since I've had it, I shaved it once, and doing this is such an addiction that I shaved it, and I'm like, it's not there. I get frustrated.
I'm sitting here tugging it all the time, and my wife's like, can you quit touching your face? I'm like, what?
What? I can't,
now go wash your hands. I'm like, what am I rolling in dog poop or something? It's
exactly. No, this thing's cleaner than probably most people's hands. So yeah. But yeah, I have other ideas, other concepts. Like I said, Absolute Priest, the Absolute Samurai Priest with it'd probably be Absolute Priest in a way, maybe. But that's a concept I'm going to have to explore deeper, because I write these as I go. I don't plan anything. I work in a very unorthodox method. So yeah, but the Samurai Priest is definitely one that I want to do in the near future. So yeah.
All right. How big is this book? We didn't really talk about the physicality of it.
The last one was 46 pages. This one is minimum 46, maximum 60.
Whoa.
I don't know yet. So
it's still going.
Like I said, I am very unorthodox with the way I work. So once the story, like, I'm actually having difficulty containing it within those 60. I want it in 60 so I can have it staple bound. I like staple bound books. I have nothing against perfect bound, but for this concept, I staple bound, that is more of an indie type feel, especially with the paper's matte. It's like 100 pound. It's like a cardstock. It's thick. This feels like an indie book.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
It's.
There's a great indie book called Heroinberg that comes from a guy who's usually in our chat called Heroinberg, and you know that 100-pound cardstock cover that indie books, right?
Yep.
Every single one of his interior pages is that.
My cover, I think, is 110 pound, and the interiors, I think, are 100 pound.
Yeah, it's I love that feel of that.
It's hefty. So yeah. But yeah, so it's I love working on it. So
well, there we go, draining those bandwidth resources again. I was going to ask you how far you are into book 2, as far as how many pages you got.
What's that?
How far are you into book 2, page wise?
I'm past page 23. I got like maybe 27 pages done. 23 of those are written because I had the first 3 issues done. So really the second half to the end of the book is what I'm working on. So yeah, and then Shay's got to edit it, and after that, it's fun stuff like the stickers, the cards, trading cards. Like Frog G, who's in the chat, he's going to be a trading card because I had a tier where you get to be
frozen again. Well,
effective 2p10, which is lovely. Yeah, there I am. All right.
Okay.
But
So
But yeah.
the estimated shipping date of next January. That's you got plenty of time to work on.
That's worst case scenario though. I really want to have this out by October, November, somewhere in there.
Well, I'd much rather people schedule for the worst case and get
Yeah.
it done early than say I'm going to have it done next month.
Yeah.
And
Like,
then it's 2 years later.
Yeah, the last one, I actually sent out the last book, I think like 2 days after the month I promised in shipping. So to me, that was late. And it was only because of snafus and stuff that's happened along the way. So I don't want that to happen again. So yeah. So
Yeah. Did the pandemic impact your first campaign any that much?
it actually made it happen.
Oh,
because
you
I
kept it
work
at home.
a full-time job, so I work 40 hours a week. Sometimes we've been working Saturdays sometimes too. So it's really hard to work full time, come home, eat dinner, cook dinner, do whatever you got to do, and draw a page. Usually you get like 3 to 5 hours in max of drawing time. So I was at home with the pandemic, and so I just flew through stuff, and so that was actually the reason why book one got out when it got out.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people were probably in that situation where they had the opportunity and the time to do something, and did it. I should have had another novel come out by the time I was sitting at home all this time.
Hey, hindsight, 2020. So yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, hey Jason, it was a pleasure having you on the show tonight.
Yeah, man, I had fun. Thank you for coming on early, by the way. You said you don't normally go on early.
Yeah, it's not a problem. I'm very, very flexible. It's more important to me that we have a show, not what time it actually happens.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, my streaming schedule is very sporadic, so I never have a schedule with mine.
I hear you.
So, yeah.
In fact, my schedule now I go from like feast to famine. I have I'll have 2 weeks booked up, and then I'm looking at I got nothing. I got nobody on tomorrow night because we moved the LCS guys show.
Yeah, that's what she said.
And then I looked ahead and I'm like, that's conflicting with the one I was going to have with Don Chin. So what I think I'll do is just have Don Chin be our guest on the LCS guys show, and we'll talk about Beard Zerker along with everything else. So yeah, right now I'm looking like at Monday we have Wolfsbane. Thursday we have Dave Peterson who does the Angst books. I've got a lot of openings. So if you folks out there are wanting to talk about your crowdfunded comic, hit me up. In fact, if I can, 2 Saturdays ago, I did Podcast Palooza, and we streamed from 1 PM till 9 PM, 1 hour blocks for each show, and we just put people in there. I'm not going to do it this Saturday because Pops Van Zant is running CromCon, and I'm not going to compete with him.
Well, on top of that, I forgot to mention we have the art auction going on.
There you go.
On Red Valkyrie, but it's all day, but it's every 2 hours. So
Gotcha.
You can still catch other people's streams or do what you got to do. So yeah.
I say that I'm not going to compete with anybody. I'm being generous. What I'm basically saying is y'all ain't going to come anyway because you're going to be somewhere else. So I'm not going to waste your time. I
love that positive attitude.
Yeah, but Sunday, I'm just sitting here doing nothing. So I might podcast Palooza on Sunday. So I'm thinking, I'll probably hit Twitter tonight and say, hey, sign up, get some hours in on Sunday. CromCon will be over, I think. Pops, it'll be over. I think it's a Saturday thing. So, hit us up. We'll talk about comics all Sunday long, man.
Cool beans.
All right. Thanks for coming on, Jason. Everybody
you're welcome.
Chat, appreciate you being here. We don't have a show without you. And as always, we just